All right, good evening, guys. Ken of Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for August 13th, 2024. We're going to jump right into some sniper trades of the day. Alrighty, so this one is DIA. And it is 10-minute. So here's yesterday's close, yesterday's VWAP. Here was a great big gap up. This is the opening range 10. The second bar opened here and then started taking off. So when it exceeded the opening range 10-minute high, we buy it right there. We use a standard risk box, and it reversed pretty quickly. It was in our favor. It ran up, then started coming back down, so I exited here to keep a fraction. That's the no lose plus dinner for two trade. It protected against a larger sell-off in that same bar and the next couple bars. Then it stabilized, then it reverses and comes back north of the VWAP again. So it seemed to be holding up nicely here inside the body of the dragon, above the Bollinger Band mean, above the PSAR. And in this bar, it opens and then breaks above the VWAP. So I just re-enter, and I have the standard risk box on it. That's the same size as this box. Starts moving in our direction. All right. Hesitates for a moment. The second time that it hesitates is enough to turn the slope of the RL10 negative. Excuse me. Let's try that again. Yeah, and as that RL10 slope goes negative, I exit at the skin of the dragon. As we call that the jump stop. I have been just happy to trail it with the PSAR, but when that R10 rolls over, I jump the stop and I meet it at the skin of the dragon. And for 1 unit of risk, that gets that's about a 1.5 R trade. Okay. This one is basically a scratch. And that's it for the day. I missed that little grinding move in the afternoon. Never got me in. Next one up. This is EWW on 10-minute. And that's Mexico. Again on 10-minute. Yesterday's close, pretty big gap up. As it was moving up that hard, that fast, it felt kind of dumb for not having a bracket around this little opening here. If I had put a standard bracket around it, might have been able to catch that first move up out of the baseline, but I didn't. Wasn't ready for that. So the OR10 is right there. That first bar comes back and closes here, opens here, monkeys around a little bit, and then takes off and goes north. So we enter according to rule right there. Put a standard risk, immediately lose 1R. I stop and reverse because there's a good potential this is a gap fade. It reverses and gives us about 2R going the other way. This was such a violent move up and then an immediate sell-off. I stopped and reversed and was hoping it would come all the way back to the yesterday's close, but all it did was come down to about the spine of the dragon, start reversing, and I just take a 1-2 exit because I'm trying to offset this 1R loss here. And this trade is already about 2R in hand. So I get a -1 and about a +2. So that's a money management stop designed to maintain my emotional stability during the day. It chops sideways when I get what feels like a caught a 2 here, because I have I got price that is north of the VWAP. The dragon has rolled up, reversed, and then continuing to move up. So you got that dragon that's in an upward trend. The RL10 itself peaked, comes down here, and then starts making that move up. And now prices across the dragon, we're north of the VWAP, we're north of the PSAR, we're north of the 3-day anchored VWAP, we're north of the Bollinger Band mean, which is rising. So this feels like up. So feeling pretty good about that. And it scratches and then resumes. I take a 1, 2, 3 re-entry and scratch. And I take it, okay, nothing going on here. I'm going to walk out of this with about -1 net for all that effort and suffering. So we'll take the 1R. NVIDIA, our focus stock. It's been building gains going into its next earnings announcement at the end of August, which is thought to be a really blowout quarter. So there's people buying that in anticipation of it on a swing trade. So this is NVIDIA on 10 minutes. Yesterday's close, great big gap up, OR10. It continues to break out in the next bar. I buy it. That's the standard size of the risk box on NVIDIA. So we're long. And we cash about half an hour. It holds north of the VWAP and starts resuming. I take a 1-2 entry, being aggressive, standard risk, scratch, give it one more try when it crosses the dragon this time, and pretty much a scratch. So we might have gotten a half an hour out of that squeeze. This is the case where the swing trade guys are happier than a dead pig in the sun because they get to enjoy all of the favorable gap. And there's nothing in this price action which stays well north of yesterday's price. There's no signal in here that gets a swing trader out. So he's still in the position and he gets to enjoy that entire move plus the gap. The intraday trader, not so much. This was basically, maybe half an hour or 3/4 of an hour. So we didn't get the volatile follow through intraday that we might have hoped for. Not really hope, but just we're prepared for. So this is EWZ, Brazil. Also on 10-minute. Yesterday's close, big gap up, OR10 is established. The next bar moves higher, so we're long. It turns out that the OR10 was the size of our standard risk box. So it kind of works out nice and easy that way. If that risk box got violated to the downside, I'd be short. I get out with about a 3/4 of an hour loss as it comes through the VWAP and hits the dragon. Stabilizes, it crosses the dragon again around lunchtime. There was no evidence of panic selling, so I just kind of ease back into the position. Joy, double joy. Squeezing, and then near the end of the day, with about a half an hour left, take the 2-hour exit. So we end up netting about 1.5 for the day right there. Shifting to the traders. No charts posted today, so I'll cover the ones from yesterday, which I didn't get a chance to get to. This is Jonathan on DIA. And really, if you're in the sound of my voice and you're a student in any of the courses, this is free chicken to be able to get some coaching every night. If you don't post them, I can't coach them. This was the OR3 entry that he noticed. Didn't take it, so we don't get this one. But he gives him the first one, which is a harsh winter, and now he gets like a 1, 2, 3 entry on an SSC. So he gets the second move. The size of the first move is an indication that this thing is in play. So he gets that entry with a risk box, probably of about that size. And it goes through the spring, crosses the VWAP into the summer. It peaks. I would like to see you get out somewhere around in here, like a 1, 2, 3 exit skin of the dragon and north of the VWAP. But I also know that sometimes we get slippage and we actually get the fill, in this case near the PSAR. That trade compared to that risk earns him 1.74. Well done. And then the final one, he gets an SSC. Again, this is the OR3. There's an entry on the downside. Here's an entry on the PSAR break that's below the VWAP. This one is kind of a collapsing dragon when you come over and look at the previous support level in the RL10. That would make you a collapsing dragon right around here. You could get short here when it turns from fall to winter. But that's definitely in play. We might have gotten a 1, 2, 3 entry here long. That's aggressive. We might have gotten it when price and the RL10 come through and flips the PSAR. He gets an SSC entry here, though. Maybe sticks around a bar too late, but that's fine. He gets 0.46. This would have been a logical place, as he notes, for a short, because you have a high over here, then a lower high. That makes this when it crosses the Bollinger Band mean for sure, that gives you an supported fall crossing, and you're already into the fall here where you had summer in MACD and now it's the fall, and then the winter occurs in here. So that's a clear signal on a SFC. You get that trade. You might have gotten out here. If you held on, you would certainly have gotten out around in here somewhere. So he gets 0.46 for this trade. There was more available here and certainly more available there. So we got a robust pattern, robust signals, and Jonathan continuing to do good work here. All right. I'm going to post the report later. I got one page on it that's not calculating correctly with the quote server. So I'll get that fixed and get the reports posted in Patreon in the usual way. And I'll get this one recorded and posted and also put on Patreon. So thanks for your patience and kind attention, and we'll be ready for them tomorrow.